The second Pokemon Scarlet and Violet set, Paldea Evolved, is just around the corner, and it promises to be one of the most impactful in a very long time. There's a big wave of new cards incoming, some of which will be seen in decks for the next 3 years, whilst others are completely new archetypes that will hopefully shake the metagame and provide a breath of fresh air. If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 20% off for your superfoods at Amaranthi. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. The most important card of them all is Iono. There isn't another more impactful card in this set, and I'd wager to say there won't be one as impactful as this in a very long time. This card will be played in most likely every single deck during its host lifespan in Standard. It is that good. Even though it gives me a bad Marnie-esque sensation, its impact and playability is undeniable, being both a powerful early game card along with a consistent disrupting option throughout the whole game. Comebacks are most certainly going to be happening more often than they currently are, and while I mourn the loss of my beloved Oranguru to protect resources against Iono, this card is going to add a lot of skill to games. Attacking your opponent's hand is very important, and the longer the game goes on, and the closer you or your opponent are to winning, you'll draw less and less cards from Iono. Be prepared to hear a lot of "oh, I got Iono'd into a dead hand" more often than we heard with Marnie. Reversal Energy is another really big card, a spiritual successor of Scramble Energy, which I myself enjoyed using all the way back in the 2006 and 2007 eras. Providing 3 Rainbow Energy is going to make for more interesting situations in the upcoming metagame, but also will most certainly allow specific cards and decks to be playable in the future. The drawback of needing to be behind in prices for it to provide 3 Rainbow Energy plays alongside Iono all too well, and there will be many instances where you purposely fall behind in order to get the most mileage out of these extremely powerful cards. Reversal Energy has already been combined extremely well with this new Luxray with the overflowing Fighting Spirit ability, and you have a fantastic, sturdy, single price attacker that can be played down and powered up in a single turn. 180 damage is nothing to scoff at, and hitting Lugia V-Star for weakness will always be a welcome addition. You can possibly tech this card into any deck, and of course timing it just right will be the key to how useful it becomes. Jet Energy is also a brand new special energy that will be making a splash in all sorts of decks. Every deck right now benefits from a switch effect, and Lugia V-Star and Lost Zone Engine based decks will likely be the ones to get the best use out of Jet Energy. Having both a switch effect and an energy attachment in one is very powerful, and unlike Warp Energy, this one sends your bench Pokemon to the active spot. Warp Energy saw niche play back when it was available, but if Asian tournament results are an indication, this Jet Energy will be more widely played. Next up is Artisan, a powerful stadium that lets you search your deck for a basic Pokemon without a rule box and place it on your bench. Single price based decks such as Lost Box or Gardevoir will be using a few copies of this, purely because it's extra consistency and also acts as a counter stadium, which is especially important for Gardevoir as a way to counter Path to the Peak. Finally, we got yet another anti-Mew VMAX card. Spiritomb, with its Dark Calamity ability, stops all abilities of basic Pokemon V in play. Its ability might as well read its top Genesect V, but here's the thing. 1. Fusion Strike Energy on a Genesect V means it is unaffected by this ability and thus it can still use Fusion Strike system, which means Meloetta will likely see an uptick in play. And we also run into the age-old discussion of the Spiritomb or Drapion cycle. If Spiritomb is so strong that it makes Mew VMAX disappear from the metagame, well then Spiritomb will be a waste of space, right? If no one's playing Mew VMAX, why play Spiritomb? But then, when people are not playing Spiritomb, Mew VMAX can thrive, as there also isn't a need for Drapion V in decks at all. So you see where I'm going? You basically have to predict the metagame very well, and also assess how weak your deck is to Mew VMAX if you don't play Spiritomb at all. All of these cards are almost splashable, and will be showing up in a lot of decks, both current and new. But there are also many other powerful cards that we will now discuss that have their own decks built around them, and here they are. First, we have Chien-Pao EX with Excalibur, probably one of the most hyped combos coming out of this set. The Absolute Zero ability allows you to attach as many basic water energy from your hand, and coincidentally, Chien-Pao EX's Hellblade attack does 60 damage for every water energy you choose to discard from your Pokemon in play. 5 energy is enough to do 300 damage and pretty much one-hit KO everything relevant right now. If you discard 6 and deal 360 damage, you'll definitely KO everything in the metagame right now. And add to this, the reprint of Superior Energy Retrieval to get 4 energy back at once, along with Chien-Pao EX's Trembling Cold ability, which allows you to search for 2 water energy from your deck and put them into your hand. We essentially have the successor to Blastoise and Black Kyurem EX right around the corner, and I genuinely couldn't be more excited for that. You add in water support in setting up with Irida, along with a fantastic V-Star in Paldea, and the Radiant Greninja draw support as an attacking threat too? What can't this deck do? Tinkaton EX is another cool new deck that features ability denial through Land of Radiation, which shuts down abilities of opponents' Pokemon that have damage counters except Pokemon EX. Now it is a pretty big miss not being able to shut down Gardevoir EX though. It does play Halucha's Flying Entry ability, which allows you to ping the Pokemon you want to deny abilities from, and there are a lot to choose from. Archetypes, Kirlia, Manaphy, Comfey, and others. Tinglu's Landscaping attack also provides damage counter placement, and the deck finally allows Koraidon EX to be playable, by allowing you to power up a Tinkaton EX on your first turn. Radiant Alakazam is a cool inclusion to further manipulate the damage in play, and which abilities to shut down. But how good this deck as a whole is, well, we shall see. If you have enjoyed the video so far and found the information useful, please consider becoming a Tablemon channel member through the join button down below. For as low as $1.99 a month, you can help support the creation of these videos. Meowscarada EX is almost too similar to my beloved Decidueye GX, as its ability Magic Bouquet allows you to place 3 damage counters on any of your opponent's Pokemon after discarding a grass energy from your hand. Combine this with Sablei's Lost Man attack, and its damage counters galore. Now I will say though that including a stage 2 into a Lost Box deck doesn't sound very appealing, as you really need to modify the deck quite a bit for it to work, and you lose out on other powerful attackers such as Dragonite V or Kyogre. It's not perfect, and it probably isn't going to be the next top tier deck in the format, but who doesn't love a good damage spreading strategy? Skeledirge EX is another Pokemon EX with potential thanks to the Burning Voice attack being quite cheap, and Magma Basing helping out in powering up quickly, sitting at a huge 340 HP, where even though Magma Basing does a little bit of self damage, you can easily combine this with Cheryl and Skeledirge EX becomes really hard to take down. Granted, setting up stage 2 is never easy due to the rare candy requirement, and just like Meowscarada EX though, this deck probably won't be doing any groundbreaking things anytime soon. We have another spiritual successor sort of deck. We have a new United Wings archetype, which is very similar to Night March, Lost March, and Mad Party decks, doing 20 damage for each Pokemon in the discard pile with the same attack. This deck can potentially reach a maximum of 240 total if you have them all in the discard and you're attacking with Ditto. The general sentiment is that with a huge buff in HP that we have in the cards, we are due for a 30 damage modifier per United Wings Pokemon or similar of sorts. But if that were the case, then this deck would basically immediately become one of the strongest, if not the strongest in the metagame. Either way, this deck will surely be fun to play with and will fill the role of fun, powerful, and super cheap semi-competitive deck that these other decks since Night March have fulfilled in the past. These are, from my perspective, the most interesting and potentially good cards and decks from Paldea Evolved. How the metagame develops is yet to be seen, but we do know that Chien-Pao EX and Excalibur deck is going to be the most competitive out of them all, at least if tournaments in Japan are any indication. Hopefully this video helps you out with a solid understanding of the best new cards from the Paldea Evolved set, which will certainly see play at the first big tournament after it releases, NAIC. I want to give a special shout out in this video to the Tablemon subscribers, who go out of their way to support my content. Dragon Hero 990, Dorin Rodriguez, Potterhead 360, Mr. Proto, Barkas 247, Darius Patel, Matthew Thanders. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment if you found it useful or if you think there's something I overlooked. Until next time!